Welcome back to the We Almo podcast. This is episode number 14. Today, I brought on Belinda so that we can talk about our Arizona trip.
Let's get into it.
So, Bells has this rule that the house has to be like literally spotless before we go on any fucking vacation. So we spend like a week and a half cleaning, deep cleaning, re-cleaning, deep cleaning, re-cleaning, just to come back to a clean house after a vacation.
It's not no, I know for a fact it's a written rule somewhere. It's written somewhere that you have to deep clean your house before you go on any trip. That way when you get back, you unpack your stuff and everything is already else clean. So you get to just relax. You get to just relax when you're home because everything is clean, everything is put away.
No, I agree. I do agree that it does suck when you're like literally coming from 4 hours. Like you spend 4 hours on a fucking plane, then you got to come home, unpack, and then start cleaning and shit like that. But dude, like all the way leading up to it, it's stressful in itself.
Yeah, because
like
you gotta pack for the trip, but you also gotta keep your house clean. But you also have fucking kids,
and then
the house is dirty no matter what.
Yeah, and like unless you buy specific clothes for like a vacation, you're like consistently like trying not to wear your clothes. That's
what I do. So I usually just pack my clothes, whatever I know I'm gonna wear, I pack it, and then I just can't wear it. Like I can't wear or like makeup, I can't use any of it because it's already packed. That way I don't forget it.
Yeah, but
you're the opposite.
No, but like you're also the same person who like sits there, packs all your makeup, and then I'm like, okay, cool, and then you're like, hey, can you reopen the suitcase? Because I need to get this.
Person.
Like, so why the fuck did you?
But you know what? I would rather be that person than be a you, because you pack like the morning of, or like the day of, whenever we're leaving, or literally like midnight the night before like our flight. And I hate that because I'm like, how do you even know you have everything?
I am here for a good time, not a long time.
But okay? How do you know? Like, there's been so many times where you're like, oh, I don't have this. You know what? I'll just get it out there.
Thank God, and it's everywhere like, everywhere you go, there's literally a fucking Target or Walmart.
I don't care. I need to be prepared.
I ain't gonna lie though. So last year when we went to Florida, I did fuck up because I forgot a belt. And, like, I was struggling without a belt for a while.
You didn't forget it this year, though, huh?
Nah, I did not forget a fucking belt this year because it was, like, crazy.
Yeah, so let's talk about guilt of leaving your kids.
Yes.
So this trip for Arizona, we actually went just me and David. This is the very first time we've ever gone anywhere just to me and him. So last year we did take a trip, like, me and him with no kids, but it was with our group of best friends. So we were still with people, but this is the very first time where we went just me and you.
Yeah, like it was literally just me and Belinda, and like the itinerary was literally just me and her making it. Well, we had like plans, I guess, to like beforehand, right? Like we discussed some of the shit that we wanted to do and stuff like that, but it was kind of more like on the day to day, which I kind of like that.
Yeah, so we went for the weekend of my birthday, but for me, I felt really guilty, like, leaving my kids, because last year when we went to California with our group of friends, we also went on my birthday weekend, and we were out there on my actual birthday, so I didn't spend it with my kids, so I felt really bad. And this year I was like, man, I still want to see the kids, but we have to leave, like, that weekend or whatever, so we decided to just do, like, a mid-day flight so that we could at least do breakfast with the kids.
Yeah, like, definitely, like, I spent, like, half the time calling the kids. Like, I think every day that I woke up, I'd, like, wake up, and I'd be like, okay, cool, let's get ready. Like, what are we gonna do? Okay, boom. Figured out what we're gonna do. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna call the kids real quick. And
no, he's lying. It wasn't real quick. Like, he was calling the kids every single hour.
Well, it's because, like, no, it wasn't every single hour.
It was every single hour. Or anytime we got to somewhere, like, let's say we got to a restaurant or we got to wherever we were going to be walking at, he's like, let me call the kids. Let me see what the kids are doing.
Yeah, because, like, I just want to see what they're doing.
And I'm like, man.
I get that, yeah. Like, towards the end, I stopped doing that because I was like, okay, like, they don't even want to talk to me.
No, they really didn't.
They didn't even want to talk to me. They were, like, because they stayed with Belinda's parents and her sister in Dallas. And they were just, like, hanging out with, like, them the whole time. And it's just, like, every time I would call them, Aria would get on, like, because... So we got Aria one of these little, what are they called, gizmos?
Yeah, so we got her a watch where we can track her, we can call her, we can text her. So David is like all day long tracking her just to see where she's at, like checking to see her battery percentage, checking to see like.
I'll call her like, hey, why didn't you pick up?
Yeah, she'd be like, I'm really busy right now. Like,
Like you
I'm
ain't doing
doing
shit.
this or I'm
You're hanging out with
playing.
your friends in the backyard. Like you're not doing shit.
Yeah. So,
Like pick
Arya,
up your little watch.
Arya actually made friends with like all the little kids in my mom's neighborhood. So she was busy that weekend. Like she
Yeah.
was like, Dad, I'm really busy. Like I'm playing with my friends right now. And he kept calling her.
I didn't keep calling her. Okay, yeah. So I would call her like twice a day just to make sure
It
she's
was
okay.
not
It
twice a
was
day.
twice a day, dude. Belinda's
No,
exaggerating.
you
You
only
know
got to talk to her twice a day because that was she only wanted to talk like real quick in the morning,
that's
and
what
real quick
counts.
at night. But he was calling throughout the day, like wouldn't leave her alone.
Hey, we would go somewhere and I just like, damn, Axel would really like this. Damn, Arya would really like this.
But then when we're at home, we're like, man, I just want to get away from these kids.
Right, like these motherfuckers, like damn, bro. Like I get it, you could do a flip, but no, like I definitely just. It wasn't even really like I had like a guilt. It was just more of like you
Just
know,
not
like
used to being away
yeah,
from
because
them, I guess.
it's more like of like you see I literally see these kids every day. They're my kids, but then we're in this thing where like we're out, we're trying to enjoy ourselves too, and kind of like disconnect, and like to disconnect it takes a little bit, especially like if you're a parent where you're coming from like consistently like we're always doing shit, whether it's like with the kids, with work, with anything. Like we're constant, every day is something different, so it's like going from that to just like, all right, like we literally get to do whatever we want, just us two.
Yeah, we
Like,
were like, we get to wake up whenever we want. Like that's crazy.
yeah, like we don't have Axel banging at the door talking about wake up at like 7:30 in the morning anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like that definitely was like different.
Even my mom was like, why you guys keep calling them?
Yeah.
She's like, you guys ain't busy? Like, you guys ain't doing nothing?
She's like, "What, you guys don't? I thought you guys were planning on doing so much shit."
Yeah.
But like I think like from the beginning of the trip, it was just I already knew it was like this is gonna be a different. So for a long time, I've never flown on a plane. I think until like, when was the first time that I flew on a plane?
I don't know. You were
It was
like
a couple
20
years
something.
ago. It was a couple
only
years
like,
ago.
like 3 years ago,
to North
maybe?
Carolina. So it was like 2018. So was it 2018 or 2019?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Whatever. It does matter. But whatever. That's when I flew for the first time ever. And it was for like an hour and a half. And I remember just being like fucking, like I tweaked. I legit was just like, fuck. Like the anxiety was just through the roof for me.
I'm terrified of airplanes, but here I am, always going on them.
You want to take trips and shit.
Oh my God, I'm so scared of airplanes. So
Why?
every time I'm on an airplane, I'm always like praying to God. Like I'm praying at the airport. I'm praying like in the plane, when they're boarding. I'm praying when we're
I
like
definitely
about
do
to
the
take
little
off.
cross. The
Oh
bless.
my God, I'm always praying. I'm always like, oh my God, please God, because like a part of me is always like, oh, like me and you really need this trip, right? We really need time alone. Like, I feel like that's so important in a marriage or just in a relationship.
Just a long-term relationship because. Go ahead. I'll
You're
let you
just so used to like being in fucking routine with your kids every single
fucking
day.
Matrix.
Like nothing fucking changes, I swear. Like it's just the same routine, right? So like for me it's like me and you, we really want to try to do like at least one trip a year. Just me and David, just to get away and like have us time, right? And so that's so important for me. But like on the plane, I'm always praying like, man, I really need this trip, but also I really need to like make it there and back, and like just pray that nothing happens on this plane, because like, yeah, I want to get away, but I also have kids at home. Like, oh my God, like I started to think like all this crazy ass shit, like, man, if I die on this plane, like, I have 2 kids at home. Like, oh, do I really need this fucking trip? Do I need it that bad where like I'm willing to risk my life on this plane? And I know it's like very like, it's very just
morbid.
Odd situations, right? Where like bad situations happen on planes, but I'm always thinking about that. Like I'm always thinking like, oh my God, if I don't make it there, like,
see, like I'm
my
the opposite.
2 kids, my poor kids, like, and then I'm in the air. And for like this trip specifically, like, so I was in the air, right? And I opened up the window just to see where we were at. And I try never to open the window. So I always ask for the window seat, and I always tell David like to sit in the middle seat. I don't know why I even want to sit next to the window, because I never open the window. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, we argued about it.
David's always like, open the window. Let me
I
see.
was
Let
like,
me see. Let me see.
I was like, dude, if you're not gonna fucking open the window, let me sit in the window. One, because I got big ass shoulders, And I'm always fucking stuck in between you and some fucking other dude with big ass shoulders. So
Yeah,
it's like,
but
what the fuck? I'm sitting here fucking trying
well,
not to.
I don't want to sit in the middle for one, but I don't.
But it's easier.
I also don't like to look out the window, right? But so I opened up the window just to see where we were at. Like I just wanted to see like, are we close? Are we still in the clouds? Where are we at? And I looked down and it was just a bunch of mountains, like just mountains. And so then I started thinking in my head, I was like, man, if this plane crashes right here on top of mountains, like we're gonna be in the fucking heat because Arizona's fucking hot.
Well, first of all,
and then I started thinking,
first
like,
of all, you have to survive that crash.
no, right, okay, but I was thinking like, okay, if I was to survive a crash and we landed in the middle of fucking nothing right here in the middle of mountains,
You watch way
right?
too much Grey's Anatomy.
Would I survive? No,
No,
I wouldn't survive because one, it's fucking hot out there, and two, because you're in the middle of fucking
You know
nothing, right? Like the thought of that doesn't scare you. Where
No,
like
because
if
there's a
plane
higher-
crashes
I have
and
no
you're in
math.
the middle of nowhere.
I have no math to back this up or data, so don't fucking ask for it. But I am sure that you are more likely to survive a airplane crash than you are to actually be in an airplane crash. I think I've seen it somewhere where someone said, or something was said where it's like you're more likely to win the lottery than you are to be involved in a plane crash.
Listen, I don't care what the articles say or whatever.
These are statistics.
These are just the thoughts in my
These
head
are
that
my
happen when I'm
statistics.
on a plane. Like this is what goes
No
through
facts.
my head every single time. Like for the California trip, in my head I was like, I remember I looked out the window.
So that was the second time I was on a plane, and that one did trip me out.
But that time I looked out the window and there was water, and in my head I was like, man, if this plane
was the water?
crashes and I survive, we were going over water
Where?
in California.
What do you mean? How did we go over water in California?
Oh my God, I don't even. Okay, we were
What
going
the
over.
fuck?
I remember seeing water, and I was like, "Oh man, if I survive this crash, and we go in the water, that's it. Like, no, I'm not gonna survive this crash because I can't even swim."
Well, they have floaties.
What makes you think like if a plane is crashing, you're gonna really put on that fucking floaty that they show you in the beginning?
If you want to fucking live,
No,
you better
no,
put
no.
that fucking floaty
Like
on.
if something happens on a plane, like you're not gonna really think about
I
that.
am.
You're gonna be no, I'm not. I'm
I
gonna be
am.
fucking screaming.
I'm literally gonna go fucking.
Honestly, I think
Who's that
I
guy?
would give up. I would give
Jason
up. I would
Statham?
just sit
No,
there
that-
and just sit there.
I think that's a quarterback. That dude who's like, who always ends up in like those fucking weird action movies, or like he has to be like, what the fuck is his name? The guy who's like,
I don't know.
he's like, I know who you are, and I'm gonna kill you. That guy like literally survives everything. Like I feel like if it really came down to it, the instinct kicks in.
Okay.
You don't think so?
No. But okay.
Okay.
Okay. I
Okay.
get that for it.
So my second time flying was to California. On the way there, I tripped out really hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like anxiety was like crazy because it was a longer flight, and then on the way back, it got a little easier. And then when we went to Florida, it was better. And then this time to Arizona, I felt just like whatever. I've already been on the plane X amount of times. I'll be okay.
See, and before, like, prior to kids, I was never scared of planes. Like, I loved going on planes. But once I had kids, that's when I started getting scared of planes. Because just the thought of, like, oh, man, I left my kids. Or even for the Florida trip when we had the kids, I was like, oh, my God, please nothing happen on this plane because I have my kids. I don't know. It's a mom thing.
No, I
guess
that.
dads
I
don't
think
feel that way.
No, I do think about that shit because it's like, the fuck, like you think I want to like leave my kids behind?
Oh my God. And speaking of like traveling with no kids, okay, so I like timed it all kind of wrong, right? Because I was kind of thinking in my head, like the last time we traveled, we needed this many hours to get to the airport, this many hours in the airport to check in, like go through security and stuff like that. Okay, we got there.
Fucking
I
Christ.
expected it to take so much longer. We literally flew through check-in and security.
Yeah,
We were there so freaking early, and David was pissed. You
we
were
were there
pissed.
2 fucking hours early
Well, because that's like the regular time you need to go to the airport.
with kids.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like that. I just didn't
Dude,
even
we
think
got
like,
there
oh,
and
we don't have kids, so we don't need that much time.
Yeah, I'm like literally telling her, I'm like, why are you like padding us with so much time? Like, it. First of all, what I don't even remember. What didn't we leave like on a Saturday?
Well, I didn't want to leave
like a Saturday, like on a midday. So, cause we left on your birthday.
Yeah.
So we left Saturday like on a midday. We got to O'Hare in like, I don't know, 35 minutes. was a pretty quick.
It was really
There's no
quick,
traffic
like,
on the highway.
10 minutes.
We
check-in
get there.
And security. It was
You
so
already
fast.
you literally already had our tickets on your like phone, with the check-in for the bag and all that stuff. So literally, we just had to go put the little tag on our bag and then go through security, because like it literally was just me and Belinda. Like no kids, no strollers, no car seats, nothing. Walked right in and out.
Yeah,
And
I
then
timed that really wrong, but man, traveling with kids is such a bitch. But this time it was like we were so relaxed, huh? Because the last trip we did it with the kids. That was last year, like Labor Day weekend. And so this time we were so relaxed in the airport, like eating food, super relaxed. Then we get on the plane, we're so relaxed. We're like, oh heck yeah, we don't have to worry about no screaming kids. Like,
I have to say this because I feel like maybe not everyone pays attention. Maybe it's just me being a fat boy, but the fries at the airport taste a lot different than the fries like at a regular McDonald's.
oh, I don't know. I didn't really taste the difference.
I did.
I think because I was so nervous for the plane that I didn't really taste the food. Yeah.
But Belinda didn't want to eat. She was just like sitting there all quiet. I'm like, hey, are you okay?
It's because I'm telling you, I get so
you were
scared.
Freaking out.
Yeah, I'm like
You're like in your head
of planes.
Do you feel better when you travel with the kids?
No,
So
I'm the same. It doesn't matter, kids or no kids. I'm always worrying about the airplane. I don't even know why I go on an airplane if I feel this way.
Because driving sucks. Because
That is true.
We've driven with one kid.
I'd rather have the fear
for like 4 hours,
a 3-hour flight than a 24-hour drive.
Fuck.
Because I have really bad anxiety in a car too.
Like the first time we ever went to Disney, we drove there with Arya, and she wasn't. I don't really remember it that well. I just remember the drive being so long that I'm just like, fuck. Like the first couple like 10-15 hours aren't that bad. It's still like the ending of it where it's just kind of like, damn, when are we ever gonna get there?
Yeah. But so being on the plane, there was this flight attendant. Oh my god, she triggered the shit out of me because she was being so rude to the family in front of us. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So it was a mom, dad, a little girl, and then they had a little toddler boy. And the little toddler had his, I think it was like an iPad, and he was watching one of his shows. But you know, like toddlers don't use headphones. I think it's like
not
for
that
their ears
like
or something.
3. Like I think after 3 they remember, because we had Arya had headphones the first time she flew, but they were like so quiet.
Yeah, but she was 4.
Oh, was she?
I don't know what age like you're allowed to use headphones, but I'm pretty sure like toddlers can't. I mean, I've never put them on Axel.
Neither.
I know they have like those ones that are supposed to like block out the noise, but I don't know if it's like for watching iPads, whatever. But so the little kid was listening to whatever show out loud, right? Mm-hmm. And the flight attendant was so rude. Like she went up to the family and was like, you know that you need to have headphones on, right? Like that can't be out loud. And then the dad was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like he's just a baby. He looked like he was like 1 or less.
Not even. I think he was like,
he was like a couple months.
Yeah,
maybe.
he was still a baby because he was like, I don't even think he walked.
No, yeah, he looked small. And so he was like, oh, like, I'm sorry, like, he's just a baby and he doesn't use headphones yet. And the flight attendant was like, oh, well, if he can't use headphones, then it needs to be super low. Like, I can hear it, like, rows in front of you. Like, I can
she's
hear
a fucking liar. Like, she was only like
and
a
we
row.
We were like, what? Like,
she's only
first
like
of
a row
all,
away
we're
from
sitting
them.
right behind them. And that iPad did not bother us at all. Like, it wasn't even loud. And honestly, no one was even complaining. Oh, she triggered me because... like that was honestly me last year, you know, like I had Axel on my lap while he was watching his iPad. Mm-hmm. And like just traveling with kids like is just so stressful enough where that lady probably made that family feel like bad. And then the mom and dad turned around and was like, hey, we're really sorry. And we're like, for what? Like, don't be sorry. Like, we're not bothered at all. Like, you know, that flight attendant was
the mom
tripping.
Was definitely like, oh, like, hey, like, sorry, you know, this and that. And I was like, no, you're good. And then I literally looked at Belinda and I was like, dude, like, people put on headphones anyways.
Yeah, like, we couldn't even hear anything at all.
I have noise canceling headphones. You were watching your show. The guy next to me was sleeping watching his show. And, like, nobody seemed to give a shit except for that one flight attendant.
Yeah, she was just really tripping.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, if you don't like kids, just say that. But it's like, because you know how there's that stigma with, like, oh, crying babies on a plane?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
But it's just like, bro... What do you want people to do? Like, you know?
Like, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, don't travel with kids if they're going to be crying. But it's like, what? Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's a
Families are
stupid.
not able to make memories.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a
that's
stupid.
crazy.
That's a stupid I think that's like a stupid, selfish way to look at things.
I hate people like that
Yeah.
that are like so bothered by your crying babies. Like, can you relax?
Yeah. Nobody says shit to them when they, 9 times out of 10, those are the people that like do other shit to bother people.
Yeah.
You know?
But so we landed, right? We landed safely.
So
and
we
we
go
went
through
to
our
go
flight.
get the car.
Yeah, so we're sitting at Enterprise. We're trying to get our reservation and all this and that. And, it's not fucking working. So I was like, whatever, I'll skip the kiosk. We'll get in line, get our reservation. Go, give the guy the information. And he's going through the paperwork, right? And this is what, like, our third time ever renting a car.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and the guy looks at me, and he's like, yeah, just sign this paperwork. He's like, oh, what are you guys doing in Arizona? And I was just like, no, we're just here for my wife's birthday, Belinda. We're here for her birthday, and we're just, going to hang out, probably go to Phoenix, Scottsdale, and blah, blah, blah. The guy's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And he's like, yeah, just sign this paperwork. Oh, here, sign this paper, too. This paper pretty much says you're not planning on crossing the border or doing anything.
Yeah, it said like you were basically signing it saying like you
You're not
weren't
gonna
gonna
go to
run
Mexico.
away to Mexico with the car.
Yeah.
And then
But, like, I heard him say it, so, like, I don't want to preface this, like, oh, like, he's only saying that because we're Mexican. Because he said it to, like, the white people in front of us.
no,
He said it
yeah,
to everybody.
everyone had to
But
sign that same paper.
It's funny because I just looked at Belinda, I was like, huh, well, I guess we can't go get married now. Or, I don't
No,
know.
you were like, well, yeah, you said that, and then I was like, you're not gonna run away to Mexico, are you? And you were like, no, because then you can't come back. And I looked at him like, wait, what? Like,
But the
why?
guy knew
What
I
does
was
that
joking,
even mean
though.
that- Like, what does that even mean? Because I looked at David like, what are you talking about? Like,
So-
what does that mean I can't come back? And then the guy looked at you and was like he just kind of looked at you like, what? And then I looked at David, and then
She's,
and
like,
then
looking
I
at me,
looked-
like, waiting for me to be like, hey, it's a joke, it's a joke.
yeah, and I
I'm
was
just
like, what the hell
no.
you mean I can't come back? And then, like, I looked at the guy, and I was like, no, we're not going to run away to Mexico. It's fine. And I'm like, David, sign the paper. Like, give it back to him. And then we're walking away, and I was like, what did that mean? Like, I can't come back. And he's like, I don't know. Like, I said whatever because I got nervous. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this guy probably thinks like I have a warrant out for my arrest or something.
It was
like
like
I
one of
can't
those, like,
come
weird,
back.
awkward jokes that, like, you just sit there
It
and
was
just,
a
like,
bad joke. Like, I don't even know why.
let me land. You
Out
didn't
of
let
all
me land.
things, like out of all things that you could have said, you were like, no, because you can't come back. Like, what? Like, why would it?
I thought he would just look at you and be like,
No, he
obviously,
straight up looked at us like we might have a problem with this car.
I, like, looked at him like, I'm like, bro, you got my license.
Oh my
I
god!
was like, you literally have my license, my car insurance, you have all my information on hand. Why are you tripping?
Yeah. Oh my god, that part was so funny though, because
But I
this
really
guy was probably like, man, what the fuck does he mean? She can't come back.
So we he hands us the papers after the most awkward cringe joke, I guess. We get the papers. He tells us, okay, you just take a left, go up the escalators or go down the escalators, and the parking lot's there. Go get your car. So we get our car, and the first thing we do is like, okay, we're hungry, because we've literally we're like been sitting on a plane. We've been walking around. We literally got 2 hours back because Arizona's 2 hours behind. So we left at what, like 10 or noon?
Oh yeah, that was like the best part too,
I love
because
that
we
shit.
got an
I love
extra
going to the
2
West
hours
Coast.
to that whole day.
Yeah, because like I love going to the West Coast because I'm so used to Central Standard Time that like by the time that we get there and we start like our day, we're 2 hours behind. I literally feel like we've gotten 2 extra hours for the day.
Yeah, so we went straight to Whataburger. That was our first time trying it. Oh my
Let
god,
me
it
fucking
was
tell you
so
about
good.
Whataburger. So the first time we went to the West Coast, we were like, we had to try Jack in the Box. We got to try all this shit that we don't have over here in Chicago, right? And the first place that we went to, or one of the first places that we went to, was In-N-Out. And In-N-Out, in my opinion, fucking overrated.
I honestly cannot give a rate on it because I was so blacked out drunk. I was gonna say
I didn't want to say it. I was like looking at you like, I should say it.
I was trash.
Belinda
so
was
I
in
can't
full
rate
gremlin
it.
mode.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know how I ate it because I was like sleeping basically.
Yeah, you were
said.
in gremlin mode.
David was like, I don't even know how you ate because you were like sleeping at the table.
I was literally
it.
the only sober one eating.
Yeah, so I can't rate it, but I was,
Shit was like
sober.
a 4 out of 10.
I was sober for Whataburger, and it was a 9 out of 10. It was good.
It was good. The only reason, so they have this spicy ketchup. Did you try it? You might have
Damn, I
dipped
don't
it or fried it too.
remember. I don't.
Man,
I think I
so
dipped the fry or something.
honestly, it's like ketchup with like, I don't know, like some type of like Cajun, like spicy little seasoning into it, but not like a lot. It's like
And
a
you
hint.
liked it, right?
Man,
You,
this shit was
you thought it
fire.
was good, yeah.
This shit was fire. I was like, damn, this shit's good. Had the spicy chicken sandwich. I was like, this shit's fire. Your burger looked fire. And then like leading up to Arizona, me and Bells were like, hey, we're not gonna drink any pop. We're not gonna do any of. We're
Oh
not
yeah, we actually went like so we stopped drinking soda
gonna fast
in
food.
like March. Yeah, and fast food too because we really wanted to enjoy it on the trip.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
dude.
So our very first Coke and like it was like a month and a half maybe. Honestly, okay, that probably doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people, but
That's a lot.
that's a lot for me and David because
That's a
we
lot.
love soda.
That's commitment.
We're toxic, but
That's commitment.
yeah, so that was our first soda in Arizona at the Whataburger.
The Coke
Oh
hit
my
different in
God.
Arizona. Like it was just like
It was so
everywhere we went. I was like, damn, this
it
soda's pretty
didn't
good.
Yeah, it didn't matter what restaurant we went to.
It's just
Okay,
good. It was
I don't
good.
know if it's because we went like a month and a half without soda that's why it tasted so good, but I'm pretty sure it's because it just hit different in Arizona.
It should hit different.
When we came back home, the very first day we were home, we obviously like weren't gonna cook dinner or anything, so we ate out again.
Yeah.
The soda did not hit the way it hit out
No,
there.
it did not. Like we got back home and everything just kind of like went back to like.
Oh man, it was
blah,
yeah.
blah.
Nothing
like,
tasted
fuck.
good over here, but oh my god, yeah.
I miss
was
Arizona.
hidden.
I ain't gonna lie. I miss Arizona.
Everything was hidden over there.
And then so we do our little mukbang, and then we go eat at Fungo de Chao. Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't
Fungo?
know. I don't know, but that
Fungo
was
de
our
Chao?
first time there.
Mhm.
The concept of it, 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
I
like
love restaurants.
We've
like
been to
that.
like Texas de Brazil,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
here.
like for my birthday here
Yeah.
in Chicago in Schaumburg, and it was good. Like the service was good. The buffet. It's
Everything was good.
It's almost
there.
like a high end buffet, right?
Yeah.
So we get there, and I don't know if anybody's ever watched the show Elite, but our server looked exactly like the fucking dude Samuel.
Oh my god, it was so funny.
And but this like
and we
same
were like
haircut.
staring at him so hard because we were like, man, that looks like the guy from Elite.
Yeah, because it's one of our favorite shows. If you guys have never watched it, it's 10 out of 10. It's a good show. I recommend it. It's on Netflix. But we're sitting there and this guy's like, first of all, they're known to have like this really good like little buttery garlic bread.
Oh yeah.
Took them
the
forever to
bread
give us
hits.
the fucking bread. And then
Yeah.
but I get it though. Like I tried.
He basically took forever to give us all of the
Drinks,
stuff that he's supposed to give you in
anything.
the beginning, and he gave it to us
Except
all at
at
the end.
after we've already hit the buffet.
Oh yeah, honestly, the food was so freaking
But it was
good,
good.
but the service was really bad.
It was bad.
But me and David never like.
The food is so good that like it low key saved the service.
Yeah, like
for me,
we
the
always
experience.
never try to look look so bad on the service, if they make sense, because honestly, like waitresses and waiters everywhere are so stressed out, and
Yeah.
they're
Cooks
just
too.
overwhelmed. Cooks too.
No, I've been a cook. Belinda's been a hostess.
Yeah, we're never like those
waitress.
people who like make such
Yeah.
a big deal at restaurants.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the service was horrible. No, like we're just kind of like just whatever. It is what it is,
Yeah.
Cause, and that
Unless
night,
you're being rude. Like if you like come up to us and you're like, "Are you ready to order?" Or you're ready to do this, or like you're just kind of like giving an attitude. Because I have
Yeah.
seen like waitresses that are like
yeah,
that.
they're
But for the
rude.
most part, if you're being cool and like you get
And honestly,
overwhelmed.
that kid looks stressed the
Oh, he
hell
looked
out
stressed the
too.
fuck out.
But
Yeah,
it's
he did.
because okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but that
was
night,
prom.
yeah, it was
prom.
prom. So fucking everybody was there at prom, so they
Mhm.
were like super booked.
Yeah, they were.
So
they
I
were
feel like
booked.
that's obviously the
'Cause I had
reason
booked-
for the service.
I had booked the reservation. It's easy. So, life hack for all my fellas out there: if you want to take your girl out to Fungo de Chao or Texas de Brazil, use Open Table, get a reservation, because believe it or not, if you've never used it, you'll honestly just you'll become priority as soon as you walk in. You tell them like, "Hey, I have a reservation," blah blah blah, through Open Table, show them your confirmation, and then they'll make sure to get you right. Because if not, you're gonna be sitting there waiting for like a fucking hour and a half. But
I don't know if it was the location or if it was just because it was prom night, but yeah, it was.
Could have been both.
It was popping in there that
Yeah,
night.
it could have been both, but man, it was popping. It was hella busy, and it was just like
Yeah,
all
so
over
the
the place.
food was good, service was bad, but it was fine. And then we went downtown Scottsdale. Oh my god, it was so much
Dude,
fun there.
set
Such
the scene.
vibes. Such nice vibes. So downtown Scottsdale is like they call it like nightlife, and honestly,
It's
it's
lit.
just like a huge ass block party.
It's a
Like,
big ass block party.
it's a bunch of bars and a bunch of clubs all like in the same block, but it's like many blocks, if that makes sense. I don't even know how to explain it, but
so it's like literally a downtown area, like
like an entire downtown
like
area,
an entire
like
downtown,
so many
maybe
bars,
about
so
like
many clubs.
10 blocks.
Yeah,
It's like a big ass
it's
square.
a huge
and
ass area.
and there's literally like just taco trucks, little shops open, and like
Yeah,
all the
like
gift
a
shops
bunch
and
of
shit
food
are closed,
shops.
but it's just food, bars, and like clubs, like little
And everything
nightclubs.
is open,
Yeah,
so it's not like closed. You can see everything, you
yeah,
can hear everything. Like the music is bumping
yeah. Like
there.
you technically can just chill on the street,
Yeah, there
and
was
you
a
can
lot of
hear the
people
music.
like chilling on the street, like dancing to the music. And yeah, there's like no cars on the street,
Yeah,
so it looked like
like
a
people
huge
were
ass
just like
block
smoking
party.
weed, just chilling, or they were like they had their own like cases of beer, and they were just chilling on the street because it's like the cops, like they're there, but they're not like fucking with people. You know, they're not like, they kind of already know like, hey, this is a downtown area, shit's gonna be like this. We're just
Yeah,
gonna go ahead and
it was super nice. I liked it.
I liked it too.
I
It was
loved
pretty
it
cool.
there. It was super nice.
It was super cool. And then we met that lady at the bar who like hugged you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, okay, first of all, the people in Arizona.
The people in Arizona are so fucking nice.
Freaking nice.
I
Like,
think it's the quality of life there.
everywhere we went, someone was nice as hell to us all the time. And like, we're not used to nice people.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, what?
We're used to we're used to just like, you mind your business. Like unless you know someone, you'll compliment them or be like, hey, how's it going? Whatever.
I'm
like,
used to like girls giving you stank ass faces.
Pretty
and
much.
like over there, people were so freaking nice all the time.
yeah, like it feels good too. Like especially like here when we go out like locally or when we go out to the city, it always feels like, like you have to like watch everyone.
yeah.
Like people walk in like, oh, does he know me? Like,
Yeah,
do I know
exactly.
him? Do I gotta be on my guard type shit?
And you know what? Like, whenever I go out, like, I always meet, like, girls in the bathroom or something, right? Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but, like, when girls are super drunk in the bathroom, they're super nice to each other and stuff. That's a real thing. But,
No.
like, in
Guys
Arizona...
are usually fucking annoying.
But in Arizona, like, they were, like, extra, extra nice. Like, I don't know. People in Arizona are just super, super nice.
It's the
but
quality of life.
yeah, we met a really nice couple out there at one of the bars. So yeah, that night
Well,
was
because
so much
it was
fun.
so busy, and like we were standing at the bar, and it was just kind of one of those things where it's like the bartender's not ignoring us, but she's like doing something else. So as she went to go back to attend, because it was a lady and her husband, I think, and the guy was just like, hey, boom. He looked at Belinda, and he pointed at Belinda like, they've been trying to get a drink. And then from that moment on, the bartender was attentive and cool and shit like that. But shout out to them, because they were cool. They had good vibes and shit, And she told Belinda, like, what did she tell you? She was like, if you want to stand next to me, you got to dance with me.
Oh, yeah. She was so
Yeah, she was cool.
She was
And
really cool. So was her husband.
I was like walking. I was in the bathroom, and as I'm walking out, somebody's like, hey, I like your shirt. And I'm just like, thank you. Because like it's just weird. Like it's like Belinda said, like you're so used to like just people just,
giving you a stank face.
face,
Yeah.
or just everybody's on guard and shit like that, or like not even on guard, but like people, it's just like it's different out here.
Not even just the people, but the weather was so freaking nice. So I was kind of like, okay,
Yeah,
first of all, I'm not a
super
heat
fire.
person, but for some reason I like to travel to the heat. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I like was looking at the weather before we went on the trip, and every day it was gonna be 98, and I was like, fuck, we are gonna be fucking hot.
It didn't even feel like 98.
No,
It felt like
did
80s.
not. Like Arizona weather is so freaking nice. That's probably why people are so nice,
Yeah.
because what's there to be mad about? It's so
Like you're
nice
literally
out there.
like you're like literally just driving around. Like, okay, not everything in Arizona is perfect, because it did have its little, shits, that was just like, like you see random fucking garbage in the highways and shit like that, or just like little stuff like that. But I mean, for like the most part, it was like a pretty good like place. It didn't feel like hot, like it wasn't humid like Chicago or Florida, where like you just like all sticky and like you
No,
need to
it
take 10
wasn't
showers.
humid at all. It was 98, but there was like a really nice breeze all the time. So
That's
it was
true.
just super, super nice. But yeah, so that was that night. And then the next day we actually went like driving to places, right? And we were driving through mountains a lot. Man,
Such a trip.
driving through the mountains is just not fucking it. I don't know how people do it.
Dude, people were like speeding through the mountains. And like I know what people were like. So if you've ever driven, like, I've never driven in Colorado, but I assume it's kind of the same thing, just like no snow. So it's pretty much just like the elevation changing, and then like it'll give you a sign where it says like, hey, like you're for the next like 7 miles, you're gonna be at like a 6% decline or whatever. You're going down, and the car that we were driving, it was just like so front heavy that as like we're going down, and because you kind of have to hit the brake because there's like semi trucks that literally turn on their hazards, and they just like go 30 miles an hour while everybody's just like going around them going like 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. And I'm trying to brake, and as I'm braking, like I'm still catching speed. And I'm like literally just like, what the fuck? Like it's just such a trip. And then like every 5 seconds your ears are popping, or like you're going through like a really sharp curve, and it was a trip.
Yeah, so I honestly I couldn't do it. Like my
Yeah.
anxiety was really bad. I mean, I have anxiety no matter where the fuck I'm at. But in the car especially, and I couldn't do it. I could not like sit in that car going through the mountains. Like I was getting sick. Like I was like, man, I can't just sit in here. And so I told David, I was like, you need to pull over. But like you're in the mountain, right? So you can't just literally pull over. So
Yeah, you have to like literally wait for the next like
the
exit,
exit. And
which
so
is like every 10 miles or some shit like that.
yeah, and so David like pulled over and he said, "All right," and so he got off at the exit. And then we went into like what are those little towns called?
The reservations.
Oh my
A
god,
res,
it
a
was
Native
freaking
American res.
scary. First of
So
all,
so we get off, right, and as we're getting off, it's just like it becomes like a light and like a dirt road. And all you can do is if you turn left, you're literally just going back onto the highway. Or if you turn right, you kind of go into like a little like town looking thing. And we're passing up, right? And like all I see is just like all these signs that say like stay out or like keep out if you're not like native, and all this and like all that stuff, right? And I get it, it's like a crazy history or whatever, but like it just looked like you hear about these things, right? Like you hear about reservations, and you hear about like how certain things are just different and certain people aren't allowed there and stuff like that, but like you really don't get like a feel of like the tension and like the difference, because like we've spoken to like locals, and I've spoken to people who like have lived in Arizona, and they've all said like, yeah, bro, like if you're not native, don't go over there, just let they like to live in peace type of thing. So but it was definitely like a culture shock.
yeah. So we pulled into because David's like, "Well, I gotta turn around. Like I don't want to keep going into
And
it,
I had to pee.
And he was like, I gotta pee. And I was like, absolutely not. You are not about to get off
So
the
like
car.
all
Because
these
I was
towns
like,
look like
I'm
old
not gonna,
western towns.
yeah, I was like, I'm not going to sit in this car by myself while you got to go pee. Absolutely not. Like, you are going to hold that pee in. And so he's like, all right, let me just pull in here so that I can turn back.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls into this creepy ass little gas station. If you guys ever seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yeah, it looked like
it
that.
looked exactly like that gas station that they like
Pulled into?
have in that movie that they pull into. And I was like, David, what the fuck? Out of all the things you could have pulled into, like you pull into this little ass.
There's
gas
literally
station
nothing else to pull into.
creepy.
It's either I pull into there or I pull into the reservation, and to like avoid conflict. I'm like, let me just go into this fucking gas station.
But then there was like these like men like standing outside, and I was like, oh my god,
Oh yeah,
you
they
need to
look like
get out.
They
now.
definitely looked at us like, you don't belong here.
Yeah, they were waiting
Get
to see
now.
like what we were doing there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so scary. But yeah, so I love tacos, right? And so I really wanted to
The
go
transition though.
I really wanted to go into like as many like taco trucks. I love taco trucks. Like I just love them.
She loves to go to taco trucks.
I always want to go to taco trucks, and so I told David like I want to hit as many up as I can, or just like taco places in general. And they just I don't know, like the
tacos in
didn't
Arizona
hit.
are not like, okay, they were good.
There were some good
There
ones.
were good ones. So we went to this, I don't even remember the name of it, but it was pretty much off of the highway in like a random street. And it's like a taco truck, as you could tell, it's like a family, and they have like a little tent set up and stuff like that because it's outside, and they're just like in a parking lot chilling. And the tacos were good, but like I've noticed that like in Arizona, like the way people eat tacos there is a little different. They eat them with cucumbers, which I thought was like fucking weird. Like,
I don't know if I've ever seen that before,
Me
but
either.
yeah, I don't like cucumbers on mine.
so me being curious George, I went over there and was just like, hey, like, is this like a Arizona thing, like people put on cucumbers, or is this like where you're from in Mexico thing? And I guess it's just more like of a Southwest like Arizona thing, because the guy who was after me, he looked like he was Mexican, obviously, because he was like speaking nothing but Spanish. And he goes up and he's like, "Los tacos vienen con pepino, verdad?" And she's like, "Yeah," which he was like, they call me cucumber. And she was like, "Yeah, they do." And I'm just like, "Bro, you actually asked for that shit on there?"
That's so weird.
What the fuck? But whatever. Like, I guess to each his own. However you like your tacos, but like,
Yeah.
could.
Man, the tacos,
taste
they
was
were
good.
They were really good at the place called
Taco Boys.
Oh,
So if
they
you're
were so
ever
good.
in Arizona and like, I don't even, is it Tempe or Temp? One of the
I don't remember what it was called.
TEMPE, Arizona. If you're ever there by ASU, check out Taco Boys.
Yeah.
Right across the street.
And honestly, the restaurant inside was super, super nice
Oh
too.
yeah, dude, it was so cool.
David saw this baby. Okay, there was his baby. Do you remember how many months he was?
Nah, I think he was like 8 months old.
Maybe.
This is like a little chunky baby.
It was, oh my God, it's such the cutest little baby ever. We were sitting down and this little baby just kept staring at David, like was just staring at him and kept smiling. And then David finally noticed and he turned around and he's like saying hi to the baby. And then the baby's just like smiling at David like nonstop. And I'm like just looking at David like, oh no, like don't give him ojo, like David, stop looking at this baby. And there goes David, and he's like touching the baby and like saying hi to the baby's
I just
mom
like touched his hand. I was like, you know how like you kind of like shake hands with the baby a little bit just to kind of
so you don't give him ojo. And then I like look at David and I like gave him this face like, David, don't touch the baby, like you're not supposed to touch other
what do you want
babies.
me to do?
And David was like, I didn't want to give him ojo.
Like, what do you want me to do? Like, you want
like,
me just to like sit there and just like acknowledge the baby, let him smile at me. I then smile back at the baby and think in my head like, damn, let me just like pinch his little hand so he doesn't get ojo.
Your intentions were good.
Well, they are.
It was just like,
well, the mom didn't care. She was just like, yeah, like she was talking to us and shit like that. And she didn't give a fuck.
She was really nice.
Yeah, but so like the vibes at Taco Boys was cool as fuck. Like if you're into like the new school corridos or like you're into like more like of a reggaeton vibe with the music, bumping. Their music is bumping. They kind of have like a little salad bar set up for like all like the cebolla, cilantro, and all the cucumbers. They had cucumbers there too.
All the salsas.
All the salsas and stuff are just like you add on. So you get like the plain tacos.
They give you the plain tacos and then you go like put all the toppings on them. And honestly, like
man,
I liked it because you can put as much as you want.
That's literally the closest thing I think I got to like at home tacos. And they were fire. 10 out of 10 for the Taco Boys. Shout out to the Taco Boys.
Was it on the way home from, or not home, obviously, but on the way back to the resort?
It was
that you saw that guy on the street?
What guy on the street?
I don't know what his name was, but...
Oh, no, that was... You're jumping ahead. You're not on schedule, Wells. You're chill.
All right, well...
We'll get to it. So, after Taco Boys... Taco Boys was after we went hiking.
No, it wasn't.
It was, wasn't it?
Okay, well, who was the guy that you saw?
Spencer DeWindy. He's a basketball player for the Mavs.
Well, David's like, we're in the middle of driving, and he stops the car. Like, he's like, I want to get out of the car, and I want to go ask, like, if I can get a picture with. And I'm like, bro.
Hey, he looked mad as fuck, too, though.
You are not about to stop this car in the middle of the street to go ask this dude for a picture. Like, what the fuck?
It wasn't after Taco Boys. It was right after we had went to go have, like, breakfast brunch. It was right before we went hiking. And we went, and then we're driving, right? So we get off of the, because the little restaurant was at a plaza, and then next to the plaza was, like, a really big, like, building. I guess that was the hotel. So it was the night that the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks, I don't know if it was game 1 or 2, but they were playing that night at Phoenix. And we're pulling out, and I see this, like, tall black dude, like, just walking down the street with, like, a practice jersey on. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, why does that guy look so familiar? So, like, I'm still staring at him, and I'm telling Belinda, and Belinda's like, who the hell are you looking at? I'm like, I'm looking at that guy. And then I look at him, like, oh, shit, that's Spencer DeWindy. And she's like, who the fuck is Spencer DeWindy? I'm like, he plays for the Dallas Mavericks. He's a pretty good player. When he was on the Brooklyn Nets, he was doing his thing while Kyrie Irving was out. So I was just like, oh, that's fucking crazy. You think I should go back and get an autograph? Or like get a picture or something? And
no, you didn't ask. Say, do you think I should go back? You stopped the car.
I damn near did. Yeah.
I wanna go out. Like,
yeah, I kind of did. I low-key did.
And I'm like, bro, we are in the middle of this street. Like, what the hell?
We were at a light, so I definitely could have busted a U-turn.
Yeah, but we were not about to do that. Like, first of all, he's probably there trying to relax before
That's true.
doing
He
whatever
probably
the hell he's
wanted
trying
to go
to
get
do.
some food or some shit.
Yeah, like,
because he did have like headphones on and he was just like walking on his own. And I guess yeah,
to be in peace.
Yeah.
But speaking of hiking, okay, that was the very first time we have ever hiked. Well, I don't know. Have you ever hiked before? I've never hiked before, ever.
Yeah, I have.
Wow, without me. Okay. Anyway, so this is the first time I guess we hiked together, but
oh my god.
Honestly,
this is the first time I've hiked in it. Like,
I'm glad we were able to say like we
did it.
Went hiking, but I don't know if I would ever go hiking again. Like, that was not. I was not
prepared. No, I was hella not prepared. I definitely look like a fucking outsider. So
first of all, we stopped 1,000 times.
Break down the fits. We gotta break down the fit. I'm literally wearing just a white t-shirt, some Nike, what are they? The woven, I don't know, Nike woven shorts, and then some Air Max 97s, and
maybe it was all in the shoes. Maybe we wore
maybe it
the
was
wrong
the shoes. Maybe it was the shoes. So like we start getting up halfway, and I'm just like, damn, my feet hurt. And then I have a whole
wasn't
iced
even
coffee.
Halfway, like I was like a quarter up, and I was like, I don't know if I could do this. Like,
yeah,
this just ain't for me, David. Go ahead without me.
And then I have like this big ass iced coffee in my hand. I'm over here just like walking.
Who the fuck drinks iced coffee when they're hiking? That doesn't even make sense.
A dickhead. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I look like one of those like.
Yeah, you did.
Like fuck boys.
Yeah, you did.
I was like.
You look stupid.
I didn't chill.
No, so I'm like struggling. I'm struggling and getting up there, right? And as we're going up, people are obviously coming down, and a lot of people were like, "It's okay, you guys are almost there. You guys are almost there." And I'm like,
I was like, "Damn, do we look like we're struggling?"
Yeah. I look at David. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna make it, man. Like, I just don't see me going all the way up. Like,
Belinda damn near gave up. Like,
I gave up.
I have like little side trails. It's not even like a side trail. It's like little side stops.
Like little resting.
Yeah, like little rest stops. And that's where we stopped, took a couple pictures and whatever, and just kind of like recollected our thoughts and really just contemplated whether we wanted to keep going or not.
We basically got as far as we could, and then we like called
halfway. A little bit more than halfway.
We called your mom and
showed her the view.
Yeah, we called his mom and dad just to show them where we were at.
And they loved it too.
Yeah.
Man, that view was beautiful.
Yeah, it was really, really nice as far as we got, because we did not make it all the way up.
Yeah, so like to get to the canyon that we were hiking, you had to go through like a really nice neighborhood, and all of these big stupid houses were like just sitting on like sides of the mountains and just like hella narco vibes.
And I was thinking like, man, like, can you imagine like, okay, like me thinking bad again, because I always think bad about everything. But I was telling David, I was like, I don't think I would ever live on a mountain.
Because what if it broke?
What if the mountain broke in half? Like, and
or
David
like
was like, why the
sliding.
fuck do you think that way? And I'm like, that's your whole fucking house.
Yeah,
right
like
there.
Belinda's so fucking morbid. Like, we're literally just walking. I'm just like, damn, that'd be cool as fuck, right? She's like, no.
I was like, absolutely not. Like, that mountain can break in half, and there goes your whole house. There goes, that's it.
I don't feel like anyone thinks like that besides Belinda. I'm sitting here just like, dude, nobody is like looking at that in the first. Because I'm sure that like whenever they're building houses on mountains and or like hills and canyons and shit, I think they have to take into account like the architect, the structure, like the structures.
I mean, I'm sure, but you know that's not gonna be me, so it's fine.
It is gonna be you.
Oh my god, when we were hiking, we saw. Okay, I'm like sweating, like drenched in sweat. Right, I'm struggling. I can't I can't breathe. And there comes this man. He only had one leg, and he was fast as hell. He was fast.
Like, yeah, he came down.
He wasn't sweating at all.
He didn't give a fuck if we were in his way. He was gonna truck us.
No,
in one
he
leg.
Was going fast
and
as
I'm just
hell.
like, damn.
I looked at David like, man, we is out of shape.
We gotta get our
hell.
shit together. I was just like, we gotta get our shit together because if this guy's out here, he can do it. Ain't no reason why we shouldn't. We ain't got no excuse to not be good at this.
Yeah, I was hella embarrassed, but. Yeah, so we went hiking. We went to a lot of really good restaurants. We did swimming for a while. Honestly, we just tried to relax, like, as much as possible and just enjoy time to ourselves and, like, had us time and stuff. Yeah. We had a really, really good time.
Yeah, Arizona, I think, like, overall, we do the... If you guys haven't caught on by now, me and Belinda do this thing where we go places and we rate them 1 through 10. Arizona for me definitely gets a solid 9. 9 out of 10.
9.
And the only reason why it's not a perfect 10 is just because, honestly, no, I don't even know why there isn't. I give it a 10 out of 10.
It just didn't feel like a 10, maybe?
Well, no, okay, it didn't feel like a 10 because, so usually whenever I go to places, I try to, like, envision myself, like, would I ever be able to live here?
I wouldn't be able to live there.
And I feel like no matter what
I
it is.
was too scared of the mountains to live there.
Well, no, that has nothing to do with anything. I'm talking about, like, in Phoenix, in Scottsdale. And I feel like no matter what, I'm always going to feel like a tourist there because it's just such a touristy, like, vibe to it. You know?
I don't know.
Maybe it's because
I really liked it. I mean, I don't know.
It was a 9 out of 10 for me.
I was stuck between, like, an 8 or a 9. But it was really, really nice.
1 out
I
of
liked
perfect
it.
10.
And I really liked the
Was it really
people.
the mountains that were, like,
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's, I'll give it that too.
I mean, how the fuck am I going to live somewhere where I can't drive there? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if we really wanted to drive somewhere, like, do you really want to drive to the mountains every single day?
Yeah. Oh, my God. You know something else that was crazy about Arizona that I've never... Well, I don't know. I've never seen it before, but at the Arizona airport, like, to come back home, right? Because we had to go through the Arizona airport.
So, first of all, we wake up at 3 in the morning.
It was oh my God, my fucking timing again. No, this time my timing was good because
you were pretty dead on because
I was like, we had to return the rental car, right? We had to return the car
and
24
service. 24/7
for
service.
the rental place, like from there you have to get a shuttle back to the airport. And I remember on the way there, it was pretty far. Like the shuttle to
like 20 minutes
to the car rental place, it was like 20 minutes. Like, why the fuck is that far? But yeah, so I was like, damn. And we don't even know what time the shuttles come. They just kind of come like every like 15 minutes, 20 I think. Minutes. Yeah. And so I was like, man, we got to time it really good because I don't want to be late and then we fucking miss our flight home.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we return the car. We get on the shuttle. We get back to the airport. Holy shit. It was bad because David was like...
packed.
David was like, why the fuck are we leaving so early? Because our flight to return was 7 in the morning. So David was like, man, there's not going to be no one at the airport at 5 in the morning.
Boy, was I wrong.
Oh, my God. It was fucking packed.
It was so packed at like 4 in the morning. I'm like looking at everybody like, because I think it's just like everyone was thinking the same shit that we were thinking. Nobody's going to be there. So let me just get a really, like a red eye. Because
you want to get back to wherever you're going really early in the morning. But... yeah, it was fucking crazy packed. It took us an hour just to get our bag, like to give them our bag for, what's that called?
Check-in.
Like check-in or whatever.
Check-in our bag.
Yeah, when you check in your bag or whatever. It took us like an hour just to do that. And we already had like the little ticket printed or whatever. Mm-hmm. So we were just standing in line basically to give them the bag for an hour. And it's like
nobody there, like literally at 4 in the morning.
There was no workers.
Not only was there no workers, but like nobody who else was like getting on those planes was ready to do anything.
Yeah,
everyone was doing everything right then and there.
It was a shit show. So we finally check our bag in, right? Then we're walking to the security part where like they check your whatever stuff. I have never seen this before, but they had the dogs there. What are they called?
The canines, the search dogs or whatever.
Yeah, like search canine dogs or whatever they are. They had the dogs there. So like they were telling people like when you get in the line to do security, you have to walk next to someone, like so two people side by side, and you have to walk with the dog. So the dog walks with you and is sniffing you and like checking you and stuff. And first of all, I'm scared of dogs. And second of all, I was like, oh, heck no. Like, I had really bad anxiety. Like, I know I don't have anything bad on me. I know I don't have drugs. But, like, just the thought of, like, this dog, like, walking next to you and sniffing you at the same time.
There was just so many people, like, leaving at the same time that there was no way they were going to pass all those people just through with the limited security. So I think literally as, like, they were doing it, they're like, hey, bro, there's no way we're going to get all these people. Just bring the fucking dog out. If they smell something.
Because a part of me is kind of like, well, so when we got there and we signed that paper that said we're not going to take the car to Mexico, that had me thinking, are people smuggling drugs from Mexico and then bringing it back? Like, I don't know. I've just never seen the dogs at the airport before. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know if something recently happened. I don't know if they always have the dogs here. It's always popping at this airport. I don't know. But... yeah, I've never seen that. That was crazy.
Yeah, so then
it was like 4 in the morning, like 4 or 5 in the morning for that.
So then we go, finally get through all this security, and then we sit at the Starbucks line for like fucking
another like hour,
40 minutes. Yeah, 40 fucking minutes as like There's literally only like 4 people working there. So it's like I'm not like, oh, they need to be better and faster. Like I get it, where it's like 4 in the morning. Like you have 40 people in line and everyone's just asking for different shit and you can
Yeah,
only do so
honestly,
much.
again, I didn't care because it was just me and you.
Yeah.
But like, if I had kids, I wouldn't have waited.
I wouldn't have waited either. I probably would just been like, man,
I would just
y'all
be
just
like, no,
gonna have to
I
figure it
gotta
out.
whatever.
You're just gonna have to figure it out
But it
when
was
we
just
land.
me and you, so I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'll wait an hour for this frappuccino. Like, what the fuck?
That iced coffee hit though as soon as I got it.
Yeah, and then
let me tell this part. So like we're sitting in line, and they start calling people to line up. So if obviously you've been on a plane, they'll call you by, what are they, sections or rows? No, not rows, right? Or whatever it is. It's by,
I don't remember what
like,
it's called, but they tell you like groups. Yeah.
So first class is 1, and then right after first class is group 2 and 3. We were in group 3, and they were like, getting people on, and I'm sitting there. They're telling us, okay, group 2 and 3 can now line up. So I go line up, and I'm standing behind this dude is standing behind me with like a bunch of bags and shit. And I turn and I look at him, and he's like sitting there just like, he's like, oh, I'm like, you're in group 3? And I said, yeah. And he's like, oh, I'm in group 4. And he has like this like San Diego Padres like bag and like a whole bunch of shit, like baseball player equipment, right? And I look at him and I'm like, oh, you play for the Padres? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. So then, like, I go and I look at his name tag, and I'm like, I see his name is like E. Contreras. So then I go, obviously just me being fucking curious before the fucking plane goes off. I look him up real quick, and I'm like, oh, shit. This guy's a real baseball player. Like, he's a legit baseball player. And I'm like, but I wonder what was he doing going to Chicago? Or whatever, but... Whatever. Besides the point, I met a baseball player from Mexico who
I forgot
plays for the
what he
Padres.
said he was. I think I heard him say why he was there, but I forgot. But he was really, really nice.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. He was
and it was so funny because when we got to Chicago, when we got back,
he didn't have a sweater.
He was freezing,
yeah,
and he was like, "Damn, it's cold here." And like another
they left
lady,
the door open, right?
Yeah,
At
another
the back of the
lady was like, oh, where are you from? Because I think she said like, oh, you're not used to like Chicago cold weather, and he was like, no. And another lady was like, oh, where are you from? And he was like, oh, I'm from Mexico. And we're like, oh, absolutely not then.
Yeah.
Like, this is cold.
But man, he was nice. He was really nice, humble.
Nice.
He was a really nice guy. So I hope he's still on the team. Efren Contreras, shout out to the Padres. Shout out Tatis. They're really, really good dude. So that was another cool experience or like run-in that we had.
Oh my God. So we finally got home, right? And okay, I know my little one, Axel, is
I was about to say his fucking name. Don't sit there and put this on both of our kids.
That he's trouble, okay?
He's bad.
But he's not bad. He's a
bad.
Boy, and he's curious and adventurous, and he likes to have fun, okay? And I was just kind of worried, like, damn, what report is my mom going to give me? Is she going to be like...
Is she going to be honest and tell us the truth? Like, was he bad?
Is she going to lie? Or is she going to be like, I can't watch your kids no more? Because last year when she watched them for our California trip, Axel was a baby. So he was fine. He was good. He slept when he slept, ate when he slept, or ate when he ate. And he didn't walk yet. So it's not like he could get into things. And so this year, I mean, he's everywhere. So I was kind of like nervous, like, fuck, what is my mom going to say? Like, how did the kids do? Is she going to lie?
Yeah.
No, my mom didn't lie. She straight up told us, but the very first thing she tells us is, Axel flooded my bathroom. And we're like, what? And she was like, yeah. So like Axel, one of my mom's bathrooms are, I don't know if all of them have them or what.
Just one, the one downstairs.
But it has, what is it called?
The bidet? Is that what
I don't know how
that thing
how
that
to
squirts
say it.
Water into your butt.
Yeah, it like cleans your butt or whatever, right? So my mom has that in one of her bathrooms downstairs.
From the previous owner.
I guess Axel went in there and he pushed the button, okay? And so the water just automatically squirts up. And so in order for the water to stop, you have to push the button again. But when Axel saw the water, he got scared and he was like, probably like, oh shit, like what did I do? Okay, right in front of my mom's toilet is like this cabinet with a bunch of hand towels and
toiletries,
just
toilet
like
paper.
things you need in the bathroom, right? And like all of that water went straight onto that cabinet with all of that stuff, and so all that stuff got soaked, and then like the water started to pile up in the bathroom, and so Axel runs out the bathroom. He goes to my mom, and he calls her mama. So he was like, "Mama, agua." And my mom thought that he was thirsty, like he was saying like he wants water because he's thirsty. And so my mom's trying to hand him like the water, and he's not taking it. He's like, "No, mama, agua." And he keeps saying like agua, agua, and he's trying to get my mom to like go with him, but my mom was cooking dinner, and so my mom was like, "Axel, here's your agua, like there's agua in there."
Yeah, like go ahead and just take your
like,
fucking water bottle.
Like what, like this is the water. And like he's like, "No, mama, agua." And he's like screaming at her, and she's like,
he's like, "Listen to me."
And he's like, "Lady, your bathroom is flooding and you not listening." And my mom was like, "Okay, Axel, let me just do this real quick, okay, and then I'll go with you." And then I think like Arya comes from wherever she was coming, and Arya's like, "Hey, your bathroom is flooding." And my mom was like, "What?"
And then Axel probably just does this thing where like he like puts his hands on his face,
like, Axel, and then like Axel looks at my mom, and I guess he was like, "Mama, agua." And then my mom like running to her bathroom like, "Oh shit." And then, like, I guess it took them, I don't know how long to clean it up. But like I was like, minutes. Oh, my God, Axel. Like, out of everything. And this was literally
the last day.
Yeah, and it was the last fucking day. My mom was like, other than that, the kids were great. And I was like, oh, my God. So, and I was like, damn, I hope he didn't mess this up. I hope my mom was like, no, I can't watch him anymore. Man, it was a good trip, though.
It was a really good trip.
And the kids had fun, too, with my parents. They loved being there.
Yeah. And then, man, just...
getting back into routine, huh?
Routines. You know, I'm sure everyone's noticed I took some time off in May, from dropping episodes and stuff like that. But it was just mainly just to help get back into routine. You know, I didn't want to like. Also, I really wanted to like enjoy Belinda's birthday. I really wanted to like do Mother's Day and all that stuff. Yeah, because
right after we got back, that following weekend was Mother's Day. And just getting back into routine with the kids is really hard. Doing laundry, doing homework. Arya has cheer. Everything was hard to get back into.
Work, you know, because we still work the 9 to 5s and stuff like that. So it's like just getting back into routine, really taking a break, kind of just to get back, recollect, recharge the motivation, and just kind of like go back into it. So
yeah, it was like a much needed.
But I definitely feel more motivated to like want a podcast though. So, you know,
so right,
these breaks are needed.
It was really nice because when we got back from the trip that following weekend, we actually went out to celebrate my birthday with like our best friend group. Mm-hmm. So like my best friends, Karina, Brenda, Joanna, and then Jose, and then my parents actually went too with us. Yeah, we went and we had a wig brunch. David was like, "What the fuck is a wig brunch?" And I'm like, "We're just all gonna wear different wigs." Go ahead. Okay, David,
so go ahead. I asked her. She's like, "Hey, I want to have a wig brunch for after we come back from Arizona." And I was like, "What the fuck is a wig brunch?" And she's like, "Where we kind of like dress like you dress regular, but you just put on a wig, like a different color wig." Belinda had like what was it, like green?
It was like color? A teal.
It was like a teal Karol G vibe. Everybody kept calling her Karol G that day. But it was like pretty much like everyone was wearing like different colors and wigs and stuff. And we went to brunch. Everybody was having mimosas. The mimosas were flowing. Everybody was flowing.
The mimosas were flowing.
So I kind of already know Belinda when she's like.
He knows.
When she goes from Belinda to like gremlin mode, like Belinda's a full-on gremlin, and she's just like fucking like
I'm just in the vibe, like
her eyes just get all fucking like
no plans, just nothing. Vibes.
You can see Belinda's definitely like when she's drunk, you can see it in her eyes.
Yeah,
they get all small. And
so
she's just, like,
I don't
litty.
know, like I was eating. Mm-hmm. I was throwing the mimosas back.
Yeah, we're not gonna name this place.
We're not gonna name it.
Fuck this place.
But all of a sudden, like. I was blacking out at the table, and then I remember telling Karina, can you go with me to the bathroom? Well, no, because I was blacking out.
Well, I don't know if you were already blacked out when this had happened, but first they bring you a shot. You know how
it was before. Yeah. I asked her before, can you go with me to the bathroom? Because I felt myself blacking out, and I needed to just kind of like check myself.
What does that feel like?
just like the room is going dark. Like that's it. You
Really?
out. Like you're out.
That's
yeah, it
scary
just
as
you're
fuck.
just sleeping.
That reminds me of like Moon Knight. If everybody's watched Moon Knight, where he goes, and his eyes go like black, and then he just wakes up, and then just like a whole
I've
bunch of
never
shit.
seen it. I don't know what you're talking about. But
For all my
so
MCU heads
I
don't
asked
know.
her. I was like, "Can you come with me to the bathroom?" First of all, I was incapable of walking, so that's
Yeah.
why I asked her to go with me.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Can you wait a little bit?" And I was like, all right, I can try. And then like I didn't know what she
There we
meant
go.
by that, but that was it. Like I'm like falling asleep at the table like about to black out. And she actually moved and she went in front of me. She was originally next to me. And like after the fact, she like sent me these videos and these pictures, and I'm literally passed out at the table like black the hell out. And then all of a sudden
But
the
like you
waiter,
couldn't tell because you had sunglasses on.
yeah.
Indoors.
I did have sunglasses on. That
Indoors.
was the vibe, okay? And the waiter comes and gives me a
The waitress.
shot.
Yeah.
And I like
Of
looked
like
at
the cheapest
her,
tequila, I think.
and I was like, oh shit, like I can already feel myself. But I was like, all right, well, she put the shot in front of me, so all right, here we go.
Belinda looked at the shot, looked at her mom, looked at the shot, and was like, my mom ain't raised no bitch.
My mom definitely looked at me like, go ahead, take the shot.
Right.
And I took that shot. Oh my, I think it was like maybe 10 minutes later. I was like, all right, Karina, like I don't feel good. Like I'm literally black. I'm about to literally pass out. And so she's like, all right, let's go to the bathroom. And so me, her, run to go to the bathroom. And then my mom came like a little right after.
Yeah.
And we're all in the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. I was fine. I didn't feel anything. I come out the bathroom. I don't remember if it was Karina or Brenda. One of them went into the stall next because it was only 2 stalls in the bathroom that we went in. There was these other girls who were in the bathroom with us. And all of us, I'm washing my hands, and all of a sudden I just felt a little sick. And I never throw up. I never ever throw up. But man, I was done this day.
She was
and
smizzed.
I kind of, because there was a trash can next to the sink, so I went straight to the trash can and I threw up at the same fucking time as one of the waitresses walks into the bathroom. And I was like, shit. And then, like, I grab a paper towel. The other girls that were in the bathroom with us, they were like, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? And I, like, apologized to them. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to throw up in front of you guys.
Yeah.
And they were like, girl, we don't care. It happens. Like, it's fine. Like, they were honestly some of the nicest people. And I'm, like, wiping myself down, cleaning myself up. And then the waitress comes back. And she's like, did you pay already? And I was like, I don't know. And I was already like, fuck, if I even move right now, I'm about to pass out.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for like the girls to get out of the stalls because at this point the both of them were in there. And my mom came in right as the girl was like, did you pay yet? And then I was like, I don't know. And then the waitress was like, all right, well, you're gonna have to pay and then you gotta go. And then my mom does not tolerate shit, so she was like just going off on the waitress. And then like Karina and Brenda come out the stall. And we're walking back because I'm like, it's fine. Let's just go. We were already done anyway.
Yeah,
we were just waiting for the check.
As all this is happening, while Belinda's like in the bathroom, I'm like, oh well, fuck it. You got your shot. Everybody, I'm assuming everybody's just walking around, taking pees and, just getting their bathroom breaks in. That way, because we got to drive back over here, and I see the fucking manager just like frantically walking around looking at our section. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is he being weird? And then I hear him. He's not even like concealing it. He's like, did they already pay to our waitress? And our waitress is like, oh, I think I'm waiting for them to get the money. And I hear him go like, okay, we'll get their money, get them in and get them out. They're cut off. And then I'm thinking like, oh shit, it's 4:00. Like, because that's when the whatever.
Yeah, because it was like 2 hours.
Yeah, I was like 2 hours. Like, oh shit, it's 4:00. So fuck it. But no, it was because all this was going on in the bathroom. And then the guy comes up. So then Belinda comes out, and that hostess runs out. And she's like super spicy. She comes out like fucking hella mad.
She's just pissed.
And then I'm talking to the guy.
She was pissed because she was fighting with my mom.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there talking to the door guy because he's like, hey, y'all gotta go. I was like, bro, I ain't going nowhere. I'm paying. Like, I'm waiting to get my debit card.
Oh, and his attitude changed. He's like, oh, you haven't paid yet?
I was like, no, I ain't paid. Because first of all, bro, you're like 5'2". I would have fucking wrecked you if you even tried to like get disrespectful. And he's just like sitting there just getting all like, oh, you guys gotta go, you guys gotta go, like almost like pushing us out the door. And I'm sitting there just like, bro, I haven't even paid, like I'm waiting to get my card back, that way I can sign off on the check. And he's like, oh, okay. And then the girl who's like, I think this was the girl who was like arguing with you with your mom, she's staring at me, and I just stare at her, and she's like, do we have a problem? And I was like, I don't know, you let me know, do we have a problem? And then the guy's like, no, we don't got no problem. And then the manager walks up and he's like, oh, you guys gotta go, you guys cut. I'm like, bro, I haven't paid yet, like let me pay and I'll be. I'm
right,
like,
we were already
I'm
done.
like, bro,
like
I don't want to be here more than I have to be, like let me just pay and get the fuck out. I get it, she threw up. And he's like, the shoes. And I just looked at him like, okay, has anybody...
First of all, they shouldn't have served that cheap ass
so
tequila,
I was like,
okay?
I looked at him, I'm like, look, has anybody ever thrown up here before? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, then why the fuck is this girl making such a big deal about it?
Yeah, she was honestly tripping because in the bathroom prior to my mom saying something to her, the other two girls were also talking shit to her and was like, oh, why the fuck are you coming in here? Like, just assuming like she's drunk as shit. Like, I was drunk as shit, but like they were like, oh, she could be pregnant and she could be sick from your shrimp. And like they were just trying to defend me. They were cool as
they
hell.
were probably just drunk too.
They were probably drunk too. And she was like, oh, like she could be pregnant and like sick from your shrimp. How you know she's just drunk? Like you just assuming shit. They were going off on her, so that's why she was pissed. And then that's when my mom like started talking shit to her. We're leaving the bathroom, and I turn around and my mom's like legit going at it with this girl, and I'm like, man, we about to go to jail in Chicago. Like I was like, oh man, like
yeah.
Because, I'm not going to just sit here and just let my mom fight some girls. So
True.
I was like, oh, man, I'm going to have to get into this fight. And then I don't know who pulled the girl, but one of the workers or something pulled the girl and was like telling her to like chill out or whatever. Oh, my God. It was a fucking mess.
Yeah, so long story short, Belinda got kicked out. Belinda got kicked out of her own wake brunch.
Okay, but we were done. Like they were tripping done. I
feel like she was just tripping.
I cleaned myself
because
up. Look, it was barely anything, and it was in the trash can.
I've legit have worked as a cook before at a sports bar, so I've seen people go get super fucked up.
I honestly could have gotten sick from the food for all I know.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I've seen it like anywhere else. All they literally do is just they cut you off and they kick you out.
Yeah, honestly, I had a great fucking time. Like, I had so much fun at that wig brunch. I was living, okay?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. The food was good. It was decent, but it was just like at the end, it's just like, bro, you ain't have to do all that extra shit. Like, you're just being extra.
But it was fine. Mm-hmm. It was fine. I still showed up to Mother's Day the next day.
That Mother's Day was
Mother's Day, and I still showed up.
Were you hungover?
I was not. No, I wasn't. Because we got back from the wig brunch
at like 5.
No, it was a little later, but it was enough time for me to get myself together.
Got back. Oh, well, yeah, because we went back and then, yeah.
Yeah, it was enough time for me to get myself together. But, yeah, I still showed up to Mother's Day. I was living. Had a great weekend.
That girl was just tripping for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And then, we spent time with your grandmas.
Yeah, so we did celebrate Mother's Day like with my family on the Sunday, and then for Mexican Mother's Day, because we do have both. Yeah. We got to celebrate with David's family and my mother-in-law. So honestly, it was a really good weekend.
That's what I'm saying. Like times
we're
like
so
this,
busy.
Yeah, times like this is just good to like just disconnect for a little bit, and just get your shit. Like you just kind of like reconnect with your family. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we went. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
We went to go watch Doctor Strange 2.
It took us freaking forever to watch it. It
took us like 2 weeks to
watched
go after it came out, and we were just busy. Honestly, it was just like we were busy. We had already exhausted all of our babysitters.
Yeah, we did, huh?
We kind of wanted to give everybody a break, but man, what?
Yeah, because my mom watched the kids for the trip, and then my sister watched the kids for the brunch. And then luckily my mom was just free on this one day, and then we like text our friends Karina and Robin. We're like, let's go watch the movie, hurry, like we got a babysitter. And they were like, okay, let's go.
We're like, you gotta give us an answer now.
I know, honestly, like in times like that where we just randomly get a sitter, we always contact like it's easy to like contact our friends with no kids, because they're like, yeah, we can go, let's go. Like
they live right down the street too, from the movie theater. So we went to go watch Doctor Strange. So after living with this movie for like a week now,
I'm just kind of confused why it was called Doctor Strange when like Wanda was obviously the main character.
it's just spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. You can end the podcast now, but if you have watched it and you care about our opinion, I give it a 7 out of 10.
I liked it. I give it a 8 out of 10.
I liked it too, but I just feel like it was just like you said, like why is it called Doctor Strange if it's just all about
It was
Wanda?
mainly about her. Yeah,
And
she
then
was the main character.
The way they did the Illuminati, I feel like for those people who don't know, like for a long time, people have been wanting John Krasinski, the guy who played Mr. Fantastic in the Illuminati. I don't know if you remember him, the guy with the four.
Know.
Yeah, Fantastic Four.
I usually don't know who any of these people are when I'm watching the movies. I just go with David for the company.
And then they're fun. Like they're
and
fun
I
movies
like them.
like
I like them. I just don't know who the people are.
Me,
like
who I'm
names.
like a little bit more invested in it. Like for like a long time, people were like, "Oh, we need John Krasinski as our fucking Mr. Fantastic," and then for them just to like kill him right away. And I get it, you know, it's the multiverse, so there's probably a million varieties of them. That was pretty messed
up. He lasted a whole 2 seconds.
And then, that shit pissed me off.
Man, no, the part this was a part that we talked about in the car, and it bothered us because there's a part, and right, if you haven't seen it, then you can end it here. But if you have seen it and you don't care, there was that part where what is it like? I don't know, like, okay, so Wanda is looking at Wanda with the kids.
Oh, at the end?
And she's pushing her off at the end, and she's like, just know that they're going to be taken care of, or they're going to be loved, or something like that. Yeah. And the one Wanda is crying so bad, and I was like...
The Scarlet Witch. The one with... So when Wanda is, like, dressed in her red with her little crown and shit, that's the Scarlet Witch.
Okay, so the Scarlet Witch was pushed away...
By Wanda,
and Wanda saying, like, just know that they love you, or they're going to be loved.
So this is where Bell's turned into a conspiracy theorist.
And I was like, oh my God, did the Scarlet Witch switch spots? And
Last
the real
minute,
mom is the one that's crying really bad, like she doesn't want to say goodbye because she's the real mom. And then like David was like, he looked at me, he was like, what the fuck? Like I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about that shit either.
And now it was bothering him.
It makes sense. Now it makes sense.
And then I was like, oh my God, it's gonna bother the shit out of me.
Also, like what I don't,
that's pretty fucked up.
That is
the real mom was like.
So I get to talking to Bells, and I'm like, do you feel like she was taking it too far?
Oh yeah, because David was like,
because like this shit, like,
do you think that what she did
like
was
okay, like this movie
justified?
Literally like. So what I loved about this movie was just like the talks of like parallel universes, different worlds and shit like that, because like I'm into shit like that. Like I really like to sit down and really like digest shit and be like, is there another David? But
okay,
you know, that's for another pod. We'll get to that to another pod.
But he asked like, you know, what she did, is it justified? And I was like, man, I don't know. You can't ask me because I'm biased, because I'm a mom. So like, if I had kids out there,
but this is the thing though. It's like
and
those
he was
kids,
like, but those weren't her real kids. He tried to explain that, but I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, because if you watch WandaVision, you'll know that she like made that shit up.
Because I didn't watch that, so I didn't know any of that part. I this whole time
she went in blind.
I'm watching the movie.
Went in blind.
I thought that those were legit her kids, and I'm like, man, David,
I mean,
I would do anything for my kids. Like, so
I mean, they are in a different reality.
Yeah.
Just not the one that she was living in.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe I have to, like, go back, watch that, and then come back and tell you, like...
Yeah, it was a good movie.
How I feel.
If you haven't watched it and you're still listening because you don't care, go watch it. It's a pretty good movie, or wait for it to come out on Disney Plus because it's a really good movie. And I'm really curious to see what people think, but I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah, it was we've honestly had like a really good couple of weeks just
relaxing, not having to worry about just taking it. But yeah, thank you. I think this is a good place to stop. Thank you to everybody who is listening. And if you got this far into the podcast, make sure you guys follow the We On One podcast on Instagram. Keep a lookout. We're gonna be doing a lot more stuff. So thank you guys a lot for tuning in and waiting this long, but thank you guys.